Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm Jan Desiel and today I'm showing you how to grade a pocket in a pant or a short. I'm going to start with the main piece, so the front. To grade it, I'm going to flip my ruler so I have the crotch point on the right side, and for the front I'll do just like I did for the back. For the bottom grading, I will use the short level on my ruler. So to make the matching front, I will again start from my size 10 and grade it down to a size 2. So at the short length level, I will place my black dot on the trace line, put one of the line of the ruler parallel to my grain line, then indicate my smallest size. I'll do the same thing one more time for the notch of the hem. Now for the hip level or the crotch level, I will use the corresponding point on my ruler. Again, overlap the black dot to the trace line, bring the grain line parallel, and indicate the small size. Now for the next point, you have to take a decision, and both possibilities that I will tell you are good. The first choice, and that's what I will do today, will be only to grade the horizontals. So I will be using the same grading that I use for my crotch level point. And the other possibility is to grade this point using the same grading as your waist and side seam point. In that case, the measurement from the waist to the bottom of the opening of the pocket will remain always the same size. And the way I decide to do it today, grading just horizontal, the pocket opening, the distance will be reduced for smaller size and will be enlarged for the larger size. But like I said, for today's example, I will use the crotch level grading. So I'm going to place right on the trace line, align your ruler with your grain line, and just mark the smallest size. Now on this pattern, I do not have the side seam and waist point, and I don't have no dart either. But we do have to take a decision for the grading of the pocket opening at the waist. And for today's example, I'm going to use the grading vertical only of the dart that I will apply to my beginning of the pocket. As I said, you have a choice. For this point, you could do like I'm going to do today, the vertical grading. So if my bottom pocket remain at the same level and this one goes up and down, the distance for smaller size is going to be smaller, and for the biggest size it's going to get longer. The other choice that you have is moving this point using the side seam and waist grading measurement, so this one here. And if you do use this one, then the pocket opening will remain exactly the same measurement from the side seam to the pocket opening. Now I will do it using the dart measurement vertical only on one point, black dot on the line, and put your ruler parallel to the grain line, dot the smallest size. We continue with the waist and crotch side point. We're going to again overlap the black dot with the trace line, grain line parallel, and indicate the small size. Now we're ready to do the notch area or the end of your straight line, the corresponding point on the ruler. Again, you place your line parallel with the grain line and just dot the smallest size. We're now going to complete the grading by using the crotch point for the crotch point and the hem of the short for the notch and the bottom point. Now using my original pattern, I'm going to retrace the side seam. If you notice here, I did trace a little bit the corner. We're now going to retrace the waist part, and you're going to do it by putting the pocket opening corner on top of the reference and just trace until the graded point at the center front. Here again, you could notice that I did trace for a little while the corner. Now for the straight part of the crotch, you could place your block touching the two new points and just trace. Here I did put my notch exactly at the same level, but as you know, usually this notch is for the length of your zipper, so it could vary from one size to the other. Now to trace the round part of the crotch, you place your block pretty much halfway between the new size and the original size, and you trace for a little while and then move your block this time towards the side seam until you reach the final destination. We're now going to retrace the inseam, and we will finish with the pocket opening. For this one, you're going to touch the two new points with the block, keeping pretty much the same distance on both sides. So you could see the graded point here and original, and pretty much the same distance over there. Now to grade the pocket, I suggest you do exactly like we did for the pattern. So you trace your big pocket, but you also trace the pocket opening from the small pocket piece. Now to grade the pocket bag, we're going to use the grading ruler of the pant again, and we're going to start by placing the grading at the same place that we did on the front pant. So you have the bottom of the pocket opening that we will place at the bottom of the pocket opening and at the bottom of the pocket bag, and we have the top of the pocket opening that we'll place at the top of the pocket opening and at the end of the pocket bag. So I'm starting with the side seam point. We did use the hip level or the crotch level point. I will do the same thing on the top line and at the bottom line. We're now going to grade some of the waist point. For this one, I use the straight grading of the dart, so I will place it at the pocket opening line and at the end of the width of the pocket. There is one last point to grade. It's the waist and side seam point. We're going to take it from the ruler. We did not do it for the pant because it was empty there, but we have to use it for the big pocket piece. So the side seam and waist grading. Now using the pocket piece, we're going to connect the dot. So I trace first from the bottom to the notch area or a little higher. Then I will move my block to reach the waist point. Now at the waist, I'm going to start with the fixed point here at the width of the pocket bag and just touch the reference for the pocket opening. Then using the block, you could just finish the line or close the line using your block. At the bottom, I will do the same thing using my block and retracing until the fixed area at the bottom. Now to trace the curved part of the pocket, there's not a big change, but you still have to do it. You could use your pocket that is cut also and just place it on both reference points for the smallest size, keeping pretty much the same distance from the block to the new point on both sides. Now to get both pattern piece for the pocket, I suggest you cut out your graded pocket and just add another layer underneath, pin them together, then start by cutting all around the big pocket piece. We could also do the notches and report the grain line to have it on the other paper. Then you're going to separate your piece. I just retraced my grain line for the big pocket piece, and the top one where you have both lines, you're going to cut on the small size pocket opening. Now your grading is complete for the short with the pocket piece, and you could see that the pocket opening fit perfectly with the front of the pant, and the big pocket bag is also fitting perfectly with the front of the short. That's it for today. I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching, and I see you next time.